Episode 189. Although Chuancheng and his two companions were being bullied, chased until they were scurrying like rats with their heads in their hands, in the end, they didn't die. Yet, they were chasing the other side so relentlessly, it was starting to feel a bit awkward. Their boss, Chen Yihui, was roaring and raging behind them the whole time, and to keep pretending they didn't hear him was getting downright rude. But just as they were about to turn back, they realized it was no longer necessary. Over there, their close comrades had already been taken care of by Lord Grimm and his two companions. Lord Grimm and his two companions had already taken the initiative to come looking for trouble with them. Seeing this, Thousand City and his two friends pulled a sudden about face, swaggering beside Lord Grimm's trio like foxes borrowing the tiger's might. The half-squad was simply overwhelmed, some falling, others fleeing. Even Chen Yihui, their leader, was recognized by Chuancheng and his crew. Chuancheng had been killed by them once before. He had a personal score to settle and refused to let up the chase. Chen Yihui, for his part, never looked back, focused solely on fleeing. Both were the same class, their movement speeds nearly identical. But Chen Yihui was clearly moving with some skill, gradually pulling away from Chuancheng. Chuancheng immediately thought of the movement, switching technique Lord Grimm had shown them before. He quickly asked,
"Hey, wait! How was I supposed to run this again?"
But no one answered him. Chuancheng looked left and right. There was no one beside him. He had actually caught up all by himself. Seeing this, Chuancheng immediately halted.
"Well, there's no catching up now anyway."
With that, he quickly turned around and came back. But within the canyon, there was no longer any sign of Lord Grimm and the others. The recent battle seemed as if it had never happened. The canyon had now fallen completely silent. "Hey, where'd everyone go?"
"Where'd he run off to chase someone down?"
Chuancheng muttered to himself. He didn't have the other player on his friends list, so he couldn't ask. He spent half an hour wandering around the canyon, searching, but saw no sign of them. Just as he was back at the starting point, a flash of teleportation light suddenly appeared outside the dungeon, and 5 figures were sent out. Chuancheng and the others nearly spat blood when they saw the IDs. It was Lord Grimm and his crew. Those 5 had finished their fight and just calmly went to run a dungeon. They didn't even say hello. I was still looking all over for a fight, and these beasts had already cleared a whole dungeon run. Chuancheng was just about to go over when he saw the 5 of them enter the dungeon again.
"Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!"
Chuancheng's face was streaked with tears. He turned and left the first line canyon. Compared to Chuancheng, Chen Yihui was even more frustrated at this moment. He had been secretly observing Lord Grimm for a long time, meticulously setting up an ambush. The result was that he never even caught a glimpse of victory. Not 1/10,000th of a chance. From the very first second, he was completely led by the nose. And now, here I am fleeing in defeat. On the plain outside One Line Canyon, Chen Yihui scanned the area, but saw none of his companions. After sending a message to coordinate 24 players, including himself, in the end, only 6 of them survived. All the others had fallen. The losses, experience, money, durability, even equipment. Chen Yihui could endure all those losses, but the sheer frustration in his heart was truly unbearable. It was like a student who had meticulously reviewed for an exam, having mastered mixed operations inside and out, striding into the examination hall full of confidence, only to find the exam was on advanced calculus. The gap was just too damn wide. Chen Yihui was left stewing in a mix of frustration and this profound sense of helplessness. For a pro player, trying to cause trouble for someone through this kind of fight was just too unrealistic. After clearing the One Line Gorge 3 times, it was nearly 4 in the morning. Yi Shu stretched, stood up, and worked out the kinks in his muscles. Just then, he saw Tang Ru get up to refill her water. Holding her teacup, she strolled over to the front desk. They are not coming back, Chang Ru asked, taking a sip of her tea. Who knows?
What's the real beef between you and them?
Back in the game, everyone naturally wondered who those guys were. Yi Xiu brushed it off with a few casual words. Steamed bun invasion was easy to fool. Tianqi and mid-month slumber had always looked up to Ye Xiu, viewing him from a completely different level in their hearts. So, while curious, they didn't press for details. Only Tang Ru was truly familiar with Ye Xiu. Hearing him mention a few words, she immediately knew it was the same group that had caused trouble at the internet cafe last time. Well, how should I put this?
They probably just don't want to see me around anymore.
What did you do to piss them off? I never wanted them showing their faces around me in the first place.
Although Tang Ru hadn't known Ye Xiu for very long in her eyes, he was a completely easygoing person. She found it hard to imagine someone like him seriously targeting anyone. May I ask why?
Because they weren't up to par. But the guy I ran into tonight, in a way, I'm the one who ended his pro career. Then why?
Didn't I already say? Because he's not up to the standard.
Oh, then you're not wrong. Of course. You've already left.
They're still so worried about you, afraid you'll come back. Looks like you were forced out. Then,
Clever.
seems you didn't go far enough. You left them an opening to bite back. Otherwise, why would they be chasing you down like this?
You're right. I was too lazy. I should have been more diligent.
Maybe you just didn't intend to go all the way.
After saying this, Tang Ru received no reply from Ye Xiu. She raised her right arm and waved it twice.
4 more runs left in the bone burial grounds.
As she spoke, Chang Ru walked back to her seat. The night passed just like that. Come morning, it was time for breakfast. They'd discuss strategies and give pointers. And then Chen Guo would get up, see these two treating the game like a full-time job, and shake her head in disdain while eating the breakfast they'd bought. This had become the fixed rhythm of daily life at the happy internet cafe. After breakfast, the two of them went to get some rest. Tang Ru's shifts originally alternated between mornings and middays, but now, with her pulling all-nighters gaming every day, whenever her turn for the morning shift came around, she insisted on finishing her morning shift before resting. Chen Guo saw her slumped over the front desk, face-weary, several times and couldn't bear it. So, she simply switched all her shifts to the mid-shift. So what if I'm staying up late? At least I've got a stable routine now. Another day had passed. At 11 o'clock at night, the internet cafe wound down from its daily bustle. Yet, these two were just gearing up, full of energy, for their own busy session. Truth be told, Ye Xiu's gaming hours were actually a bit longer than Tang Ru's. After all, Ye Xiu's work was just playing games all day, while Tang Ru's front desk duties kept her far too busy for that. Her leveling efficiency just couldn't compare. Most of her time was spent following Ye Xiu's advice, studying guides and watching videos. And she was frequently interrupted. It was nearly midnight. The team assembled, ready to take a crack at the Crystal Lands dungeon record. The leader of Moonlight Guild, Feng Hua, arrived brimming with confidence. He recounted how he trained diligently all day, finally earning Senior Baozi's approval. But when the clock struck midnight, Sumo Cheng, however, never logged on.